Hi, my name is CindyKandie. Welcome to this channel. Hi, Sasa. I am so excited to be shooting this video today. I'm going to be talking about I am so excited that you guys are subscribing to my channel, you're hitting the like button, you're leaving comments on my videos. I am so excited to be back on camera. I'm so excited to be talking to you guys. Honestly, I'm just excited. I'm just going to be honest with you and say that I've been having a rough couple of months. It's a life changer, it's a game changer, you guys. And apparently not enough people are talking about it on the internet. So other than that, I want to take this opportunity to ask you to hit the subscribe button. You'll definitely be loving this video. I'm going to give you just like 5 seconds to take your time and subscribe to this channel. 1, 2, and while you're down there, you might as well like it. 3, 4, 5. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking. The video is done. I hope that you will take the time to leave a comment down below. Let's get into this video. Well, so in the month of June, I tracked my expenses, but I did not look back at it. I just tracked them down and never got to check how much I spend on things. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and I hope that as we do this, it's going to be insightful in your life. So I am a firm believer in writing down stuff. I always walk around with my pens, and when people mess around with my pens I get pissed off. So I always for highlighting and for writing normal things, so I also have an exercise book. It's just an ordinary book. This is where I was tracking my expenses for the month of June. I will show you a few snaps of what I wrote and how I started. It was a new experience for me too, expense tracking, because I didn't know how much I was making and how much I was spending or how much I was saving, or I just wanted to get right with money, and I felt like expense tracking was the right way to go. So what I did was on the 1st of June, I started expense tracking. What is expense tracking? Expense tracking is the method of writing down all your expenses daily, what you spend on. And other than that, it's more than what you spend. It's also how much you make, because you can make a certain amount in a day. And by making, I mean you can receive a certain amount from a friend or from family or from your work, from your boss or whatever. And it records, you get to record how much you spend, how much you make, and how much you have by the end of a certain day. Also, you can have a space for how much debt you get into in case you borrow money or something like that. When I started out expense tracking, as I had told you, it was on my exercise book. You only need a pen and a book. When I first started expense tracking, I wanted to do it my way so that it could be easier and I could be able to feel like I owned it. The same way you want to feel like you own your money, I wanted to own my track. So this is what I did. I started in my first week. All I tracked was how much I spent and how much I made. This is because in the beginning it's kind of hard, and it's also weird. It's something that you're not used to, and your brain is still processing the idea that you're actually recording every single coin. Every coin you spend, every coin you make. It's hard because this is something you don't do. So you have to start small, as usual. You have to start small, you have to start simple. So I just started with what I spent and what I received. I'll show you a snippet. What I spent and what I received. Then, that's the first week, from the 1st of June to the 14th. So for the first 2 weeks, all I tracked was how much I spent and how much I made per day. My first day was, I swear, it was the hardest, because I was thinking, even the 5 shillings, even the money that, like, it was so hard because it's something new. Like, when something is new to you, it's hard. even this is hard. That's why you have to start simple. I'm going to keep on emphasizing how simple you have to start, so that so that you don't get out of the habit. Once I got used to it, on the 14th, I added another column. That was my cash column. It was the column where I put down the money I had in the morning and the money I had by the end of the day, both in cash value and in money electronic value. That was from 14th to 16th. That's only 2 days. So let's just say on the third week, I had 4 columns. The first column was the one for how much I had spent. The second column was for how much I had received. The third column was for how much I had in the morning and how much I had in the evening. Though, after tracking, you realize that the money you slept with the previous day is the same amount of money you had in the morning. So you only record the amount of money you had by the end of the day. Then the fourth column was my savings column. As we talked about in this video, we learned that saving is 20% of how much you receive. So if I had any receipt, I had to have a savings column where I put 20% of every money that I made any day, right? So let me start doing the calculations. I'm starting by recording how much I spent on the first week. So every day how much I spent, and then what I spent at the end of the week. And then I now see why I was a bit traumatized about doing this experience. It's a lot of math, but I need to know how much I make and how much I spend in an average. It's going to be an average, of course, because every month is not the same. But I need to know how much I make and how much I spend every month, so that I can have, if I'm planning to have an emergency fund for a month ahead, well, I will know at least an average of how much I should have based on my spendings. So let's do this. So I had already written how much I had spent per day, so I only added up how much I had spent the whole week, which totaled 2. So, and then I did how much I received during the week. Last week I had how much I spent and how much I received. So I'm going to do that for the rest of the weeks. And so guys, I'm going to do more math, money math, and I'll be right back. Spent, how much I received, what I learned from this experiment of expense tracking, whether or not I will continue expense tracking. So I'm so glad that you guys are joining me on this thing, because I have been postponing the whole thing, but now I'm about to learn how much I make in an average month and how much I spend in an average month. Am I spending money that I don't even have? Anyway, the first week I have seen that I already received more than what I spent. I guess that's a good sign. Let me find out about the rest. See you in a few. Guys, I'm back. I'm not yet done with doing the whole month, but so far I'm done with the second week. Turns out I also spent less than I received on that very week. I guess I was saving the rest. I didn't make any records until the third week, which I'm about to calculate. But so far, so good. So guys, funny enough, on my third week, which I added my savings column, I was able to save a negative. I literally had savings that I had been saving, which I hadn't been recording the first 2 weeks. But somehow, when I started having my third savings column, it just showed me that I was misusing my savings, because I have a record of negative on my savings. Other than that, the day on my third week that I only spent 60 shillings. I crave for days like those. And the 60 shillings was only spent on my pet food, and pet food and my mobile data. Imagine. So on week 4, I had an emergency, which I ended up spending a lot of money. I opted not to add that onto my spend an amount of money, mostly because the expense would make my average seem a bit too much bigger than the actual amount. I hope you get what I'm saying. Anyway, I've just finished my expenses on the 4th week, which I am calculating from 22nd to 30th of that month. Yeah, let me finish this. So guys, I'm done with my columns. I have recorded how much I received, how much I spent, and how much I was able to save. I'm not going to lie, my savings were on the low. I have honestly so much more improved since I opened my locked savings account, which I can't access to. I found out that with my expense tracking, I was able to find out that instead of saving money, I was just putting money aside to use when I felt like it. And I think that's when in the month of July I started doing the oops. Let's put that aside. The month of July, I decided to create yes, it still takes 20% of my money, but it's a savings account that is divided into two. I use my M-Shwari account, where I take 10% of my income, any income, as we had talked about in this video. In the long run, I was able to understand, I'm able to see that even though I spend a lot of money, I receive more than that, meaning I am able to save in as much as I later use the money for small minor emergencies, which, by the way, I feel like is the point of saving. If you are in a fixed situation and you have some money put aside, then you'll be grateful that you put that money aside in the long run. Other than that, I want to calculate two main things, that the two expenses that take up most of my money, or these are expenses that show up daily on my my spending column. That is my data plan and my pet food. So I'm going to share that with you, and I'm going to tell you guys how I'm working towards reducing that amount. So let me do this. So guys, please hit the like button, please subscribe, and if you have a question or a comment or anything to add about this video of expense tracking, please put it down in the comments below. Thank you. Oh my god, guys, I am so surprised. I thought that I spent like more than what I found out on my pet. I found that I only spent 600 on my pet for food. Like, how low maintenance is that? If you want to hear more about having a pet or something like that, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll make a video about that. Other than that, I did not know I spent such little money on my pet. I guess it's a good thing. Expense tracking enabled me to see, why did I even buy this samosa? Why did I even buy this? I got my first YouTube video, I informed you guys that I make people's hair, and that's how I make money on the side. So I didn't know how much I was making. All that money that I would calculate hypothetically I was not aware that where it was going, how I was using it, and stuff like that. So this process helped me to understand, oh, this is what I do with the money that I make from my mobile salon. This is what, like, expense tracking just opened my eyes, and I understand how much I spend in a month and how much I make in a month on average. On top of all that, I'm so grateful that you guys have joined me on this journey. I hope this inspires you guys to do expense tracking too. It's so simple, it's so fun. And share it with me on my Instagram page. You can share it with me in the comments below. Just feel free to share with me anytime. Thank you so much for liking this video, for subscribing, and for commenting. See you on the next one. Bye.